Hey guys, what's up? Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Zoe if you're new here, and today's video is going to be a little bit different because, as you guys saw from the title, I experienced a hurricane. And some of you may or may not know I went on a trip, and I actually just got back last night from the trip. And yeah, it was just going to be a fun trip to the beach and nothing more. September is like when there's like the most hurricanes going on. I don't know what it's called, but like it's like one of the worst months for hurricanes. You know, we knew that, but we saw when we were looking at the forecast, all we saw was just rain. There was nothing else. It was just rain when we looked. And so we're like, oh, it's gonna be raining, but it's okay, we'll just go when the rain stops and stuff, because it was for my sister's birthday. So I'm just gonna start from the beginning, and I'm gonna try to have this not all over the place because I don't know, it might be all over the place, but I'm gonna try to tell it in order that it happened. Most of these clips are from my mom. She just messaged them to me so I could use them for this video. Okay, so let's just get on with this and I'll tell you guys everything that happened. Okay, so when we first were in the car, this is when everything started. And why did I sound so excited about this? This was not exciting. This was terrifying. Okay, I'm sorry. I have issues. So we were in the car and we were pretty close to our condo at this point, and our condo's in Gulf Shores. Anyways, we're in the car and I don't know how close we are to our condo, but we're pretty close. We're very close to our condo at this point. And my Nana is looking on her phone and she points at this like tropical storm and she's like, what's this? And then she showed my mom and it was called like Tropical Storm Sally. It had not turned into a hurricane yet. It was still a tropical storm. And my mom was like, oh my gosh. I took out my AirPods and I was like, what is that? What is this? And they're like, oh no, it's just a tropical storm for now. It should be okay. Like, it'll probably go around us. Like, I'm sure it'll be okay. And you know, we were just like, yeah, it's nothing. It's not even a hurricane yet. It's just a tropical storm. We're good right now. And so our plan was we weren't gonna evacuate unless we were told to evacuate. We would evacuate if it was really bad, obviously. Yeah, so the next morning, like my Nana had gotten me up early. I didn't want to go for a walk on the beach, but she got me up early. And now I'm glad that I got to go on that walk on the beach because this was one of my only chances I could go to the beach. She woke me up at like 7 or something. I think it was 7 a.m. on a nice walk on the beach before the hurricane started. The waves were already getting pretty big because the hurricane was on its way. The waves were already getting really big. Usually on the Gulf, there's like no waves. Like the water's perfectly still. In Gulf Shores, the water's always perfectly blue, like super pretty. But the water was so dirty. Like it's like the hurricane had just like mixed like, I don't know, things in the ocean around and it just made the ocean so dirty. And so like it wasn't as clear as it was supposed to be, which sucked because we were really excited about the clear blue pretty water. And then this happens. But yeah, we go on a nice walk and then all was good, everything was fine. I think it was my sister's birthday. That was when things started to kind of progress. So that was on the 14th. And we were like, let's go shopping with our souvenir money before things progress a lot and before things get, you know, before we can't really leave because of the freaking hurricane. So let's go get our souvenirs while we can, which was smart. So yeah, we go shopping and everything. It was raining. It was pretty cloudy. We were talking to these ladies at the souvenir shop and they're like, oh, it's no big deal. It's probably just gonna be just a little bit of rain. No big deal. Just like, okay. They hadn't like experienced a really bad hurricane, like a direct hit in a really long time. So they were just like not expecting much, I feel like. So they were just like, oh, it's no big deal. It's not gonna be that bad. It's totally fine. So that night, things started to progress more, but the hurricane was moving very slowly. The hurricane started off moving like 7 miles an hour, which was pretty slow. And then like the next day it was like 5 miles an hour. Then later it was 3 miles an hour, then 2 miles an hour. So the news people said that the slower the hurricane moves, the more dangerous the hurricane is, and like the more damage the hurricane can cause the slower it goes, because the slower it moves. And you know, it makes sense. At this point it was moving 2 miles an hour, and first it was on the right side of us, so the eye was like barely gonna miss us. And so we're like, okay, this is great, like awesome, we're gonna be okay, it's no big deal, the eye's gonna miss us just barely, we're good. And like the eye was moving all around, so like not long after, the eye had moved to the left of us, and we're like, the crap? Like it literally was just moving like all over, and like the news people didn't even know where it was going. They had like all these possible options the hurricane could go, but they really had no idea where the hurricane was gonna go because it was just moving all over. Sally didn't want to decide where she wanted to go. I think it was the next day. This day was the day the hurricane hit, and I'm sorry, I don't know like the days, but I'll probably figure it out while I'm editing and I'll tell you guys what day these all happened. But yeah, I think the next day it looked like the eye was gonna go right over us. So At this point, the hurricane was a category 1, and then later that night, right before the eye of the storm hit us, it was up to a category 2. So it was like, first it was a 1, then I think it was a 2, then a 1, and then back up to 2. I was like, okay, can you make up your mind? It was a category 2, which I don't know how, because the winds and everything was so crazy. It was really scary. I don't know how it was a category 2. I couldn't imagine what a category 5 would look like because I was so scared. I don't even know what a category 5 would look like. That would be terrifying. Like, we would be dead. But yeah, so that night, my Nana was going to bed. I was on the FaceTime with my cousin because I was really scared. I was just in the bathroom FaceTiming her because my Nana was sleeping in the room next door. So I was in the bathroom FaceTiming her. And then when I finally got off the phone with her, I could hear the wind was so loud. And like, I felt, when I was sitting on the bathroom floor, I felt the floor like underneath me. I'm not even joking. I felt the floor underneath me move. And I was so scared because I kept hearing like noises outside and like wind and like the rain. It was so scary. Like, oh my gosh. But yeah, I felt the floor, like I felt underneath me move. And I just started crying. Like, I'm not even kidding. I started crying right then and there because I was so scared. But it was really scary. And so the storm just like kind of progressed, and apparently, I found this out while we were in the hurricane, but apparently the eye of the storm is actually the calmest part of the entire storm. The walls of the eye, so like the green that's surrounding like the outer parts of the eye on both sides, those are called the walls, and those are actually the worst part of the entire hurricane. The eye is actually the calmest part, which is super weird. But yeah, the eye was going right over us, so the walls, everything, the worst part of the hurricane was gonna go right over us. So at this point, you know, we couldn't leave because it was too late, and everyone was like, why aren't you guys leaving? I'm just thinking, okay, you guys, like, we can't predict the future. We did not know that the hurricane eye was going to go right over us because it looked like it was going to go to the right of us, then the left of us. And so we really didn't know where it was going to go, and then all of a sudden it decided to go right over us. So by that point, it was too late. We couldn't get out of there. The hurricane was starting. It was really creepy, and my parents came in the bathroom, and they were like, do you want to come in our room with us and just chill with us and watch a show with us or whatever? And I was just like, sure. And our condo, I don't know if I told you guys this, but our condo was 16 floors up. So there was 20 floors, and we were on the 16th floor, and the building was creaking. Okay, I was in my parents' room, and we could all hear the building was creaking. Like, the building was moving back and forth. Our clothes in the closet were swaying, and you could hear the creaking, and like the fan, like the string thing or whatever on the fan was like moving like crazy. There was this lamp that was over our table. The lamp was moving like back and forth. It is the weirdest feeling, the weirdest thing ever. And my Nana was like, it feels like we're in like a haunted house or something. Like, it was just so creepy, so weird. Oh, I hated it so much. And I was like so freaked out. But I was really scared that like the winds were gonna like do a lot of damage to our building. And like, I was scared that like, I don't know, the building was gonna like, I don't know, just get really damaged because of the winds. And like, I've seen that on like the news and stuff, and like buildings getting really like, I don't know, collapsed and like completely destroyed from hurricanes. And I was scared that was gonna happen to us, I'm not even gonna lie, because those winds were so strong, so loud, and none of us were sleeping. Like, none of us, except for I think my little brother. He was out the whole time. I don't even know, he was asleep the whole time. I don't even think he noticed. Also, something I forgot to mention was our electricity kept flickering and going in and out, in and out, in and out the whole hurricane, and it was really scary. My dad said he was gonna stay up all night just to make sure we were all safe, which was very nice of him. But yeah, he stayed up all night. I think he said he fell asleep while we were in the eye of the hurricane, which was the calmest part. That's when all of us actually got a lot of sleep because it was so calm, so quiet. Like, it was weird how quiet it was compared to the crazy wind gusts and like everything, and then all of a sudden just like stop and just totally silent. The weirdest feeling. I don't even know how to explain it, but it was so weird. And so about like 3 a.m. we were actually watching 10 Things I Hate About You that was on the TV, and I was just watching it, you know, just chilling while the hurricane's going on, you know, just having a fun time. Not really. And me and my dad are just like eating candy on the bed, just chilling, watching a movie. I was getting really tired, and I was like, I'm just gonna go to sleep, because I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to sleep through this, but I'm gonna try to sleep. And I go in there, my Nana's still awake, and we're just like talking, and like literally I could hear the railings. Okay, so at the front of our condo there's these railings. It's like when you walk out the front door, there's these railings, and it's all outside. It's really hard to explain. We could hear the railing that was on the front side of the building like start to move, and then my nana just like started to pray like, please protect us, because it was really freaky. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I was really scared. But obviously we made it, we're alive. So the power went out while me and my nana were in bed, and I had taken some melatonin to help me go to sleep, so I was just like kind of dozing off and just somehow sleeping through the hurricane. I'm not sure how. And like when we hit the walls of the hurricane, like the worst part, apparently I was asleep. I was asleep through like the worst part of the hurricane. I don't even know how. I was so tired. I just fell right asleep, and then I woke up when we got in the eyes of the storm because it was super quiet, and I was like, why is everything so quiet? What the heck? I was like, what's going on? Why is it so quiet all of a sudden? I was like, oh my gosh, are we in the eye now? And then I looked, and sure enough, we were in the eye. And we were in the eye till like 9 a.m. or like 8, 7, I don't know, something like that. Like early the next morning, which it was already early, but like, I guess a little bit later, like a few hours later, we got out of the eye and we're back in the next wall, because there's 2 walls like I said, so we were in the last wall of the hurricane and then we would be good. Oh, I forgot to mention this is literally all over the place, I'm so sorry. But the night we were in the hurricane, whenever I said this, the clothes were swaying in the closet and stuff, we didn't actually feel the building move, but then later when we were like in the wall of the hurricane, like the worst part of it, like really bad, we could feel ourselves moving. It was really creepy. Like you could feel me and my nana felt like the bed moving, like we could feel at this point things moving, and before we couldn't. So like the swaying had gotten worse and it was really scary. So yeah, the next morning we wake up, the power's still out, and we were like, this is not good. And we were on the 16th floor, so the power's out, the elevator's obviously out, so either you take 16 flights of stairs down, or you know, you don't go anywhere. So yeah, pretty much we were cooped up. Apparently they turned off the water because they thought it was going to be dangerous. Like the water people were there, they turned it off because they thought it was going to be dangerous because of all the flooding and stuff. I guess, I don't even know, they thought it was going to be dangerous or something, but I'm like, whatever, I'm just kidding. But I was like, okay. So the water and the power was out for, I don't know, it was out the rest of the time we were there, so like 2 days, and then we left on Friday. We were like, we gotta get out of here. Like all the food went bad and we had no water, we couldn't take showers, we could not flush the toilet, it was disgusting. We were like, who knows when this power is gonna go back on, and it was just not a good situation. So we were just like trying to eat what we could that was like available for us to eat that wasn't in the fridge, because everything in the fridge was getting warm. It's like there wasn't a whole lot of options because the power was out and the electricity was out. But yeah, so when we woke up the next morning, like I looked outside too, and there was so much damage. It wasn't like devastating, but there was a lot of damage, and there was like random things that had washed up on the beach. It took out this whole dock, like this whole freaking thing in the ocean, like a whole section of it, just ripped off these air conditioning units that was on this little place that was on this beach, like this little food place, I don't know. But somehow that place had made it out okay, and it was actually okay, but it did have some damage. What we could see from our building, there was a lot of damage we could see, and some of the houses, their roofs were just torn up. It was really bad. And they had a lot of flooding. There was a pretty good amount of flooding. After the power and water had been out for a while, we were all like, okay, we need to leave early because I don't know when the water and power is going to come back on, and this is not fun. We need to just get out of here, because by that point the flooding had gone down. We were safe to leave, we could go. But the only problem is my sister's leg is broken and my nana has a bad knee, and so we would all have to walk down 16 flights of stairs, and you know, somebody could get hurt. At this point, this was our only option, and we were just gonna have to make it work and have to do this. So my dad and me were gonna go get some gas because we only had a quarter of a tank in our car, and that was not gonna last us because the whole town was out. All the power was out. I don't think I told you guys about that, but the whole town was out. As far as you could see, there was no power in the whole town. And so me and my dad had to drive and try to find gas at a gas station because, you know, most gas stations didn't have any gas because there was no power, and I guess it had to do something with the gas, or I don't know. Apparently it had to do with the power being out and there was no gas because of it at a lot of places. So we went to this one place. There was a bunch of cars trying to get gas because they were probably doing the same thing we were doing and trying to get the heck out of there. And there was no gas at this one gas station, so we go to another one and there was not gas at that one either. And then we go to Buc-ee's. By this point we were about an hour out, and me and my dad were like stuck in traffic and like at the stoplight, and this cop comes by and he's apparently directing traffic. And when we finally get up to the light and about to turn left to go to Buc-ee's, the cop was like, no, I can't remember what he said. He said something like no, you guys have to turn around and come back or something, because my dad was like, where the heck are we supposed to get gas then? It sounded like he said to turn around and come back and go the other way to get to Buc-ee's, but like apparently that's not what he said, because I don't know how we would have turned around. We would have had to gone very far to turn around and come back to the light and then turn the other way to go to Buc-ee's. But there were people at Buc-ee's getting gas. I don't know how, because the cops weren't even really letting anybody get gas, so I don't know how they did that. So we were like, like I think he was just trying to tell us like, down the street, down the road, there's gas down there, so just go that way. But it sounded like he said turn around and come back, but I don't think that's what he said. But anyways, we wanted to go to Love's, but Love's had a super long line, just like the other gas station, just like Buc-ee's. But there was this other gas station, I can't remember the name of it, but it was right down the street from Love's, and so we went there because it wasn't as busy for some reason, and there wasn't as many people getting gas. But yeah, we finally got gas after waiting forever. Our gas was getting really low, but we thankfully made it to a gas station. We thought we might have to like, I don't even know, we thought we might be stuck on the road with no gas, but we had to get gas so we could get the heck out of there. But yeah, me and my dad got some gas, we got some snacks at the gas station to celebrate, and yeah, then we finally got back to the condo. And then the next morning we left a day early because we were ready to get the heck out of there, because it was gross. No power, no water, couldn't flush the toilet, like I said, couldn't take a shower, couldn't eat like warm meals, nothing like that. But yeah, we finally got everybody down 16 flights of stairs safely. We were all okay, thankfully. My sister was okay, my nana was okay. We all got down the stairs safely. We got the heck out of there. We survived Hurricane Sally. But we definitely got very lucky, because when me and my dad were going to the gas station, there was a lot of damage, and some houses were actually completely gone, and you could just see bricks. Like that was it. Everything else was gone. Like you could see the inside of the house. Everything was just gone and wiped out. Power lines were gone. Like trees were just knocked down. Signs were knocked down. Like tons of things were just gone, and it was really sad. But we were very fortunate that we were okay. Yeah, so that's the story about how we went through Hurricane Sally, and how our beach trip that we just got back from did not turn into our perfect little beach trip we thought it was gonna be. So if you guys enjoyed this story time, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you want more story times like this video. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!